stops, no one knows. We're going down. We're going down. We're going down. We're going down. Do you dare to follow me down? Head into the unknown.
Hello, everybody. Sure, my mic is on. It is on. How's everybody doing today? Friday, I believe, right? Got some amazing news this morning. We're done for the season. We are done for the season. So we still can't leave for a couple of days because we have to do the walkthrough and stuff. But I've been busy all day packing and scrambling. Master bedroom is all cleaned out. Bed is in here for the night, for 2 nights. But I'm super happy. Super happy. It's done. It's over, you guys. It's over. So, hey, Gren and Blue Jay. I don't know what to say about the notifications. I don't know what to say. Sorry. Patriot Girl, good to see you. Hey, Lynn and Carrie Bailey. Miss V. Yeah, we'll talk about it. Do I want to talk about it? No. But I think we should talk about it. Hopefully not too many people show up today because how embarrassing. Honestly. It's a rabbit hole, you guys. Hey, little black bear, good to see you. Helicopter grandma. Sending love and light. Need it today. This is a tough topic, but I think I'm gonna go a little bit sideways with it, and I don't know. I might piss some people off, but I might I'm hoping that I lend a little bit of common sense feet. And I mean, I could be wrong, but common sense thinking to the whole. I don't even know if we're calling it an accusation or a story, or I don't even know where to put this one. But I'm gonna try to make it so that it's not out there making us all spin in circles going, oh my God, oh my God. So we'll get there. But thank you, Helicopter Grandma Colleen. Thanks for coming today. Hey, Kimber and Tam, giving some good advice. Hey, Trail Hiker. Hope you make it back. Hey, Sea Smoke and Sky Painter. Lovely to see you. Camilla, good to see you. I don't know that I've seen you here before, but welcome in. Angelina, I hope you're feeling much better than you were. Truth and Beauty, thanks for coming. Marie, as always. Sinister, love that you're here. Hey, Snarky Pants. Harley's here, but it's so confined in here. He'll probably try to come in. Not gonna lie, he'll probably try to come in, but he'll have to come in like this side, and he doesn't like being confined. Good news is he can get up on this bed, so he might decide to stay and jump up on the bed, but we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. It's only for a couple of days, and then I'll have my nice big area back. Amy, it's good to see you. Mustang. Hey, Ariel. Autumn. Helicopter. Thank you so much. That's very nice of you. I appreciate you. Sue Oilers, thanks for coming. Hey, yes, ma'am. And Lori Green, good to see you. For Shar and for Jack and Lily, hugs everyone. We will get through this together. Absolutely. And I do have update on the Easter donation, and I just want to make sure that it's okay with everybody that donated, because the idea is not chocolates and stuff. It's more like baby wipes and things that are needed for a certain charity, who was very happy and excited to hear about the funds raised. So I want to make sure that everybody's cool with it before I go ahead and send the money, which I will do today. Oh, Seaweed, thanks for coming today. Hey, Violet Boy Ian, good to see you. Hey, Tammy. It's Friday. Love that. Root Strength, good to see you. Aw, so kind of you. Nancy, good to see you. Hey, when you guys say good evening, and I'm like, what? It's like, well, I guess it's 4 o'clock in Alberta, but I get it. Strawberry Wine, good to see you. You thought I'd been back already? No, I'm still in Alberta, Gran. I can't leave here until Sunday. I thought Saturday, but Sunday. Just clapping seal. Love your name. Thank you. Sinister, that's very, very nice of you. Joyce, have I seen you before? If not, welcome in. Thanks for finding me. Darlene Smith, good to see you. Hey, Jen. Emerald, hi, Ashar, and everyone in chat. A few new names today. I appreciate everybody that comes in here. Hippity hop down the hole. Usually I like to walk up to the rabbit holes and look down them and just kind of see what they're all about, but I don't know. This one seemed a little bit too, people were a little bit too hyper about this one, and I was like, I get it. I get it, but let's let's talk it out. Let's talk through it and see where we are at the end of the live stream, right? You heard that I'm on Leo's list? Negative. Negative. Have you heard of pay pigs, Ron? Strawberry Wine. And hey, Grey Wolf and Dawn. Beauty day today in BC. I bet it is. Are you trying to rub it in? I'll be there soon enough. It's not bad here. It's -4 here. It's not bad. Belinda believes hubby and I are on one day driving from Edmonton to PEI. That's more than one day, honey. But I guess you probably mean you're leaving in one day. You got 4 days of driving, don't you? Info. I don't think a lot of people realize how big the market is. OnlyFans, Leo's List, etc., etc. Oh, the list goes on, Sky Painter. On and on and on. Donna, from Beaverbank. Don. You're not late. I'm still doing my thing, taking my time, I've been here lots. Thanks for all that you do. Oh, okay. Menopause brain. If I've seen you before, I apologize. No disrespect intended. Just D, good to see you. Danielle. And Patriot Girl. Made it back right out of the gate, Ron. Does it surprise you? Hopefully he makes it in. He might not. Scrambled egg. He's gonna be so happy. He's gonna be so happy. As soon as he sees the gate, he gets super excited. Actually, it's a lie. Once he sees the mountains, he just wants his head out the window the whole way. It's great. Can't wait. Occam's Razor Believer. Same. We need t-shirts, but thank you for becoming a member. That's very nice. Are you on Anita's shit list now? Why? What did you do? Cheryl, how's it going? 710 in Nova Scotia. And AB's too, I'm sure. I got a little fired up last night. What did you do? 510 in Manitoba. Melissa was sick today, so she's not able to join. We're just trying to get her watch hours up, so because she's not able to join, I'll get everybody to go and watch the replay on her, or no, yesterday's replay on her channel. That would be great. I tried looking down the rabbit hole and fell. But I think I'm going to have somewhat of a safety net for everybody. If you're going to stare down this rabbit hole and try to figure it out, we're going to try to simplify everything. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I think it's a safe way to think. Kelly Thompson, good to see you. You know, one of my best friends in the world is named Kelly Thompson, and I haven't talked to her for quite some time. I don't think you're her, but just saying. It's 10:15 in Ireland. Nito Mosquito, thank you for being here. Bonnie Garrett, hey. Trail hiker. Who else? What's Leo's list? We'll get there. Eventually, if I ever get through this. Crime Science Stories. Good to see you. Mr. Hemi. Hey, Steffa. You don't know about Leo? We're going to talk about where it came from, okay? And then we'll get into it. It's disturbing. Trigger warning today. Viewer discretion advised. All of that night stuff. Careful. Shh. I don't know. Holly G, good to see you. Hey. Mary Melbourne, good to see you. Does that mean you're in Australia? Always rocking the boat. Yes, you are. And it is quite the rabbit hole if you allow yourself to get in there. And full disclosure, you guys, like I went there and I started poking around and I saw the little ads that were popping up, and I don't want that juju on my computer. So I asked other people to do it for me. So, and they did. They did. Oh, I made a comment on his video. I just don't think it's acceptable to talk about a grown adult child essay, whether true or not. And here's where I sit with it, okay? Number one, question I ask with everything is how do you know? Like, I need to know how you know. Did somebody tell you that? Or did you see that somehow? How do you know? Number one. And number two, are we, by talking about it or by putting that information out in the public, are we, if it's relevant, can we agree that if it's relevant, it probably shouldn't be public knowledge? Or if it's not relevant, is it helping in any way, shape, or form figure out what happened to Jack and Lily? I don't know. And I've lost sleep over the last few days. I'm not gonna lie. I have lost sleep over the stuff that's been coming out. So I think I'm at the end of chat, and I think I've explained myself fairly thoroughly. Yeah, no one should be accusing someone of essay without proof. It's defamation. And again, like, Major Crimes is fully aware of what is going on social media right now. And if they haven't stepped in, I have to believe that it's irrelevant or it doesn't affect their investigation. Why would that be? I don't know. I don't know. Like, I have questions. And it's extraordinarily vile, the things that are coming out now. And if true, devastating. Devastating knowledge to have. And I couldn't imagine having this knowledge and not speaking about it. Oh, okay. So you're Mary Stevens. That's your old name. Gotcha. Um, okay. This here, um, first, I will say that everybody knows here, yeah, defamation is a civil issue, you bet. Yeah. Okay, so full disclosure, everybody here knows that I do not believe, and I feel like I have a very reliable source on this one, that Justin was not there on May 1st and 2nd. And that's fine. I have not been giving a credible receipt because the only receipt that I would find credible is to hear it from Justin himself. And this far, nobody has been able to get anything from Justin. I've tried, but it's not happening. So that's why I cannot say, I know I'm right, blah, blah, blah. But for me, I do not believe Justin was there May 1st or May 2nd. But my topic today is about this Leo's list and just to explain to everybody where it came from. And so we're going to watch this. And who, Brian? Good to see you. But who's a liar? Justin? He hasn't said anything. What's he lying about? I don't know. And then please tell me how you know that. That's very interesting. I think I've already answered that. Yeah. Okay. It's bad enough for Anita to put it out there, but for a creator to make a video about it just seemed such bad taste as well. Well, I mean, each to their own. You don't have to watch the content. Obviously, she has a right to say whatever she wants to say, and you have every right to believe it or not believe it. And like I said, I am 100% sure for my own reasons that Major Crimes knows what she is saying and where she is saying it. And if they haven't shut it down yet, maybe it's irrelevant to them. Maybe it doesn't impact their investigation. Maybe. I don't know. But food for thought. There's a reason Justin's not talking. What's the reason? And how do you know? Justin could always lie, which isn't credible either. Absolutely. I always thought he was since day one and helped Daniel hide Jack and Lily. Would it make a difference that it's not? My source isn't Justin specifically? I don't know. Like I said, I've got, yeah. Like, I don't know. I wasn't there. Did Brian just get a gifted membership from Helicopter Grandma? Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you. I just watched A Balance and Anita had a couple of messages there, and she said that Justin killed 2 innocent children. Whether you can believe it or not, you need to go and listen. I have. I have. Okay. I wonder how anybody would know that for a fact, because it wasn't in the court documents. The RCMP haven't said it. I question how we can be so sure, that's all. Damned if you do and damned if you don't. If you don't, in this case, it seems if you speak, you're this and that, and if you don't, you're also this and that. Yeah, absolutely. This case is nuts. Can't disagree. It's always this and, but is it okay to be, is it okay to be neither this or that? Is it okay to be, how do you know? I don't know. Yes, Brian's been here for a while. I'm happy for you. Oh, before I go get under the heated blanket again, I want to say thank you for using the pic for the background. It makes me happy that you like it. I love it. I love it. And it did kind of bother me. The podcast, logo is great for the audio podcast, but when you're up here talking about the things that we talk about, it's not 100% appropriate to have a bloody knife and a book and crime scene tape. It never sat right with me. So I appreciate you doing that. I think some things should stay semi-private. Only those who 100% need to know should be told and should not be gossiped about. In my opinion, it's a bad look on the people doing the talking, even if true. And could it affect the investigation or a successful prosecution down the road? I don't know. I don't know. Kimber, I don't believe Justin was there, and why would Justin be talking for people to tear him up if he hasn't got anything to say? Tear him up? Yeah. Right. Let's just, you know, be tolerant and patient, and we're just going to listen. What is this? 3 minutes or something? 3.5 minutes? So we're going to watch it just to catch ourselves up on Leo list. And then I'll show you a couple of things and then we'll get into my reasoning on it. Shirley, good to see you. And Kelly, thanks for being here. Got distracted by chat again. All right. Let me make this bigger. I don't even know if I'm just going to put it up here. Boom. And then mute myself and hit play.
And him being there on May the 1st and 2nd. Now, you remember back to Malaya Brooks Murray talking to CTV News in the interview she gave the world. She mentioned and referred to Daniel Martel as her partner. Well, allegedly, Justin had been staying there and possibly having relations with Malaya Brooks Murray, as Daniel has another 2 girls that he advertises out for rent on a particular website called Leo's List. Leo apostrophe S List, Leo's List. Yes, detectives know, police know. It gets a lot worse. On your screen is a communication from a Wade Paris to Anita Brooks. And I took out a particular name because until today I hadn't heard it before. So I'm going to hold that piece back. Wade Paris and whatever they're talking about looks to be, I don't know if that's Facebook. It looks to be Facebook. But Wade Paris had mentioned or messaged Anita stating that he's calling Daniel sick white trash. Daniel and Hayden and Redacted get high and ABUSE kids. The end of the communication, it's filled with information. I'm making this, interpreting just because there's so much in this piece. I'm trying to do it as responsibly as possible and give my audience and the public out there the information that should invoke some sort of conversation. Anita believes that Malaya does not know where he took them, meaning where the disposal site is. He's not going to tell her as she's weak. She said detectives would not tell her, but I saw their faces, meaning the detectives' faces, when I told them. It's a huge possibility Daniel Redacted, or Daniel, Justin, Hayden, and Redacted were SAing them, and they told me to keep going. Big possibility Malaya was having relations with Justin, and they were all fighting. Daniel didn't care about Malaya anymore. But he liked the money that she could get. And we talk about that. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Let's get the conversation started. There's a lot there, just in this little 3 minutes and 50 seconds.
Yeah, there's a lot there. So that is where we heard about the list, the Leo list. And I do see a lot of conversation in the chat about this, about what we think of Anita and the information, and about the creator for airing it. But absolutely her right to say it if my Major Crimes doesn't have an issue with it, which they've been, they've been well aware. So if they haven't shut it down yet, then it must be, I won't say okay with them, but it must not impede their investigation in any way. But there is a way to look at this, in my opinion, without bothering saying somebody's lying or making shit up or causing trouble, because we don't know if it's true or not. It is disturbing in any case. But like I said, this is terrible. It's a terrible topic, but we're going to do it. I just want to make sure that I didn't miss anything. The allegation is that he was putting specific females up on that site, not himself. How would anyone know this? And maybe what she knows, heard, or was told, we will see what happens with the RCMP. And I think it's safe to go one step past that with this specific information anyways. So let me show you really quickly what it looks like. Yeah, that redacted name, I believe he's unredacted it anyways. The name is out there now. It is Joey Ferdinand now, Haley's brother. He'd be getting sued for defamation if Daniel had any money. Yeah. No, April, it is not. So, let's pull it up then. Let me get my pictures up. This one first, I guess. I'm just going to share my screen so I don't have to toggle too much. And then I'll make myself little. So when you go to leolist.cc, this is where you go. And this is your site. And it's literally a basic everyday classified site. But down here you've got personals. And can I just, oh, for fuck's sakes. Never mind, I have to toggle. That's too bad. So this is the other one. Once you go into the personals, you can get into your specific interests. Gigs and jobs, dom and fetish, female escorts, female massage, male escorts, transsexual escorts, sugar babies, or hookup. I think they're pretty self-explanatory. So once you click in there, I'm not doing it because there's all kinds of porn on there. Um, you can choose your location, you can choose keywords, you could people did go in to look for me. Not they were looking for me, but they went in for me and had a look at Halifax area, Truro area, um, just to see. A lot of the girls looked young, but I mean, who am I, right? 52-year-old. So if you're not 30, you look young to me. Um, but that's what it is. And you obviously can post your own services on this site, or you can purchase services from this site. One of the two. So it's legitimate. There it is. It's actually I put Leo's list on my thumbnail because this is what it's called in AB's video, but it's actually leolist.cc. Yeah, I mean, everybody knows AB in this case, and you can head over and watch the full length or the shorter videos that he's got. So trigger warning, right? All of this information is disturbing, to say the least. No, that's very true. But I will say that sometimes women don't. Mm, it's not the woman's idea, if that makes sense. It very much could be true. It's not unheard of. I just find the whole topic should be handled in a discreet way to not re-victimize anyone, adults involved. Yes. That's my point today, Occams. Because even if it's not true whatsoever and there's a defamation claim in the making, whatever, it is so, to me, disrespectful to insinuate that this could have something to do with Jack and Lily's disappearance. And also, if true, then we could very realistically be discussing victims of sex trafficking. So, like I said, it's disturbing stuff. Oh, I don't know. I found heads up, I found Ron Mexico on certain sites too. So Ron Mexico. Um, what did Hemi say? What's a good idea? Look out there. Look in that area using the Wayback Machine, not today's listings. We did. We did. There were a couple that you can't really. Let's just say the face isn't usually the focus of the photographs. There were a couple that, kind of raised the eyebrow, but there's no way to know. There's no way to know. Yeah. I don't comprehend what the fuck all this has to do with finding and bringing Jack and Lily home, or justice for Jack and Lily, because if it's true, are we not putting information out to the public that maybe should be either held back or protected for possible future prosecution for such things? Are we feeding the jury pool a little TMI? Maybe. I don't know. I get that it happens, but if this happened to Jack and Lily, I would lose my mind. Yeah, same. I've been losing sleep. Yeah, Feet Finder, you bet. So what? Somebody wants to buy a picture of feet for $5? You do you, boo-boo. Here you go. Jen Soto. Yep, true. So I want to I'm not trying to, I'm not gonna out you here, Ron. But I don't want to dwell on this, and I know that my thumbnail said we're gonna go down that rabbit hole, and we're there. We're in the rabbit hole. This is what it is. I cannot show it on the live stream because of the content that's in there. But let's look at things from a little different perspective. So that's what I said, Ori. Thanks for being here, Ori. I haven't seen you for a while. Okay, now look. Look. Let's quickly read this, and then you'll probably understand the direction. Oh, wow. The direction that I'm going to go today with this information. Unfortunately, I have to open it. I see that, Melissa. You're more than welcome. If I see you backstage, I'll pull you up. If you feel good, come on up. All right. As soon as you see it, most of you are going to be like, oh, yeah, I guess, eh? Right. Look at that. Whereas this order was made by a justice pursuant to the Missing Persons Act of Nova Scotia regarding the missing persons Lily, spelt wrong, Sullivan, and Jack Sullivan. Upon reading the application of the applicant, a member of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, the RCMP, who has applied for an order authorizing access to or the release of copies of records that may assist the RCMP in locating the missing person, and upon being satisfied, having considered the application, that access to or copies of records requested in the application may assist the RCMP in locating the missing persons. B, records of the types of those requested are in the possession or under the control of the following: Forensic Analysis Gilles Marchand, RCMP Digital Forensic Services, address. This is therefore to authorize that access to or copies of the records indicated below that contain information about the missing persons Lily, spelt wrong, Sullivan, and Jack Sullivan. Hopefully this doesn't click to something terrible. Oh, whatever. You get the point. Jump ahead. On May 16th, 2025, I presented an application for a records access order for the cell phone records of Malaya Brooks Murray and Daniel Martel. That authorization was granted by Justice of the Peace Bruce McLaughlin, and of the Justice of the Peace Center in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. The order has been executed and the results have been received. They are awaiting review. What do we think of that? Tint is here. Hey, Tint. I think the allegation is he posted he was selling services, put it that way. They would just move the trial to a different area so you don't get a mistrial. You would think if they were aware of things that were going on and had the ability to shut it down, Mama Angie, that seems a little more that would be the first. So they would have to try to control it at some point. Okay. And these, don't forget, are like, I think the latest court doc that we got was dated July. So the allegation Sea Smoke is girls. And specific girls. Do not want to be this big. Don't want to be that big either. Yeah. All right. I had to pull that down so that we could start our videos. because we're going to learn a little bit about cell phone extraction. But first, I think we should refresh our memories. Ooh, this one's a little long. All right, I'm going to start with this one here. I've got a few little videos from CBC that we're just going to refresh our memory a little bit, and then I'm going to talk about actual cell phone data extraction and what that looks like even if shit is deleted. Okay? It's not like you can just delete something from your computer and then empty your recycle bin and assume it's gone forever. So we're gonna learn a little bit about it, and I want to. It helped me put my mind at ease. Thanks, Tint. That's nice. Thanks for being here. We don't really see you around too much, so thank you very much. I'm missing a lot of stuff in chat. I worry that social media sycophants are doing the job of a defense lawyer, coming up with theories that are barely believable but good enough to create doubt. Yeah. And if you want to see the absolute shit show stuff like that can cause, look back on the Delphi case to September. I believe it was September 20th, 2023. Help me out, Gren. When the defense filed a motion for Frank's hearing, and the memorandum in support of the Frank's hearing application. And that memo, I think, is probably going to be it. If the appeal is successful, I think it's going to make it into some law books myself. And I mean, it created this messy trial. The whole thing, like every time you do a filing, whether you're in the courtroom or not, it's part of the trial process, right? It's part of the record. And the whole thing was a mess, starting, well, once the lawyers got involved, obviously dating way back to the beginning, but that memo in support started this entire crazy social media frenzy that turned the case on its side. And now who I think, close your ears, Gren, who I think is the guilty person, could very well get a new trial because of all the bullshit that went on. We're not harmless, right? We do have the power to really impede an investigation, to really harm, the administration of justice if we're not very careful. And I'd hate to be a part of that. Are these allegations coming from the court hearing happened, or someone just brought them out, Mary? Yeah. You don't get rid of your stuff. The only thing that gets rid of your stuff is if it gets overridden with other stuff. Yeah. I think everybody is picking up what I'm laying down. All right, so let's refresh our memory here with this one first. Do I get to, yeah, okay. Volume's up. I'm gonna mute myself, make this big, disappear myself, and then we'll hit play.
Newly released court documents in the case of missing children Lily and Jack Sullivan provide a closer look at the relationship between their mother and stepfather. The latest details come from lifted redactions CBC and other media outlets have been fighting for in the case. The documents include an affidavit filed by RCMP that explains the investigation to date.
Malaya Brooks Murray and her boyfriend Daniel Martel were together for about 3 years before Jack and Lily disappeared on May 2nd. All of them lived in the Lansdowne trailer where the children were last seen. According to the documents, Martel told police they'd been fighting about money. His mother also referenced financial difficulties. The new records disclosed that in an RCMP interview, Brooks Murray said Martel would try to block her, hold her down, and once he pushed her. She said he would also take her phone from her when she tried to call her mom, which would sometimes be physical and hurt. Martel provides a different account. He told police their relationship was good and they had ups and downs like any other couple. He said they would yell at each other when they were fighting, but there was no physical violence in their relationship. RCMP Staff Sergeant Rob McCammon confirmed the nature of their relationship at the time of the children's disappearance is part of the investigation.
Are any of the children's family members considered suspects in this case?
I wouldn't say anybody's a suspect. Again, we continue to gather information and whatever evidence that we are able to find, and we'll make our decisions based on that. But we are not in a position to really comment on suspects or anything like that at this time.
The case is still being investigated under the Missing Persons Act and has not moved to a criminal investigation. But in new submissions, the Crown noted that while there is currently no reasonable grounds to believe a crime has taken place, it could become criminal.
When they state that there are no reasonable grounds for a criminal offense, uh, what that really says to me is that there's currently not enough evidence to make an arrest for a crime, but a crime is not obviously being ruled out. It's a very important linguistic distinction.
The documents also say RCMP are using technology-based investigative techniques which may provide information to support criminality and help find Lily and Jack. Angela McIver, CBC News, Halifax.
So that's just a little recap. I thought it was a good place to start with my thoughts on this whole thing. This one's a little bit longer. I don't know that we need to go into all of that right now. I want to start with this one. Did anybody else follow anything about the Brian Coburger case? And before I get to your answers with that, there's a couple of things in chat that I wanted to delete, and I'm not going to let anybody do spoilers here. So if I see that you're already on to me, then I'm not going to show it. No offense. Unfortunately, I've always felt that there's lots of different threads running through the people who are around Jack and Lily, but not necessarily connected. It's very possible. Blue Jay, that is hilarious. I have all of my live streams marked not for kids, just because you never know what's going to happen in chat. You never know when Charmaine is going to fly off the handle and maybe drop a couple of F-bombs. So I just better safe than sorry. It's not like I have YouTube ads anyways. So, on my live streams, I just, whatever, not for kids. So if you have that parental block on your device, it's probably why you're not getting notifications. You've been a huge help with the case too, the video of Wade and Earl. I agree. We would never have that stuff. Earl, not so much. I don't know how that was. I mean, it was good to see him, but I don't think it added any insight or value because we don't know what the situation was. Maybe if Tim would be willing to give me the full video, that would be something. Can they just hold a judge-only trial, not jurors? Yes, but here's the thing. That is up to the accused. He can choose judge-only or jury trial. So if he chooses jury, we're literally tainting the jury pool as we speak. I'm not trying to, fix anything or anything. I'm just trying to give us all something to kind of help us sleep better at night, knowing that they'll know. I think that true or false, no matter what we think, we know that Daniel handed over his cell phone. He offered them. We've heard it 100 times if we've heard it once. He offered them his cell phone over and over again. They have his data. They've downloaded everything. And how do you use leolist.cc on a device? So I'm just going to go through and show everybody how it's possible that they could, even if deleted, go back and get that. So, damn right, he's getting a new trial. We should. I noticed that Teresa put out the state's response, and I really want to watch it. And I will. Just so you know, Leo's List ads never go away. In a past life of mine, I used Leo's List. My ads were stolen and plastered all over the web by scammers. I was never able to take it all down, right? Right. I'm apparently 4 minutes behind in chat. I think the RCMP have gone downhill over the years and there is some level of incompetence. Maybe. Technology based. I just can't hide it. I speak to my past the best I can. I'm a good person and that's all I need. I'm sure you are. I have absolutely no... Sky Painter is the one that helped me get that bench across the country, in case anybody forgot. Just peachy, good to see you. All is being saved and can be acted upon if when turns criminals. But my point today is that if we think for 1 second because something was deleted that the RCMP wasn't able to get it, I call shenanigans on that one. So let's watch. This is about Coburger. And these are the forensic experts that the FBI called in to go through Coburger's devices because he was crafty and he was a criminal justice. He was going for his master's in criminal justice. This man should have known how to cover his tracks. So it might have been a different Ron Mexico. Calm down. Calm down. It's all good. So let's watch it just for a few minutes. I think Brian Enton asked him some good questions that we could relate to this.
You know, I'm just thinking like with my phone, and maybe it's just because like I'm a reporter or whatever, but I'm Googling like all day. I'm searching like on my phone. If you look to mine, it'd probably be like insane, you know? Um, so he wasn't doing stuff like that.
Well, he cleaned it up too. So it made it, there were the gaps of what we consider normal behavior, but then there were also the gaps from his cleanup, which just made it more difficult. So we would see things and wonder, how did that get created? Or what does this file mean? And we recreated every single thing we found. So when we had to sit there and testify and explain to the jury that this is what a user presses, this is what that file looks like, this is how we know. Just to cement in the fact that we were testifying to lack of evidence proving a crime.
And so when you say he cleared or cleaned his device, is that just clearing the browser history essentially, or?
Yeah, on the phone, clearing the browser history. On the computer, it was a little bit more. I found the presence on November 16th of a file called Eraser, but he was crafty. And usually you could see, okay, Eraser was run and it wiped these files. I couldn't find that level of detail, but I could see that Eraser was run on November 16th. Could it be from a virus scan or some other scan of software he had on his computer? Sure, but with all the other clearing and stuff, it's just unlikely.
And he was taking some measures. You might say that it was just being security conscious user, but using NordVPN as sort of a normal activity so that his IP address wouldn't be easily discovered. Heather said before, he turned off Wi-Fi, just completely off 2 days before the murders happened. But he also used incognito mode consistently. So on Google Chrome, using that extra layer of security that they built in so that people can't see what you're searching and doing, he was doing that as well.
So there's a lot that you're pretty sure he was doing that you weren't able to see.
Absolutely. But thank goodness he made mistakes. So people don't realize if you bookmark something, or Jared can talk a little bit about autofill, but when you're typing things into a browser, the browser wants to remember what you're typing in those boxes so it can render it faster to you the next time you're on different websites. So things like autofill, bookmarks, and downloads aren't done in a private manner. So they go with everything else. And it's not as easy to clean those up on a phone.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jared.
No, I was just gonna keep going on that, but go with your question. We'll get there.
What about Wi-Fi networks? Like you mentioned, you turn his Wi-Fi off, I think a couple days before the murders, but could you see which ones he was connecting to before or after?
There's a record of just a few. I mean, I think it was maybe,
WSU, Washington State University.
yeah, maybe 5 Wi-Fi networks that were still saved in his device that he had connected to, which is low. I think normally, devices would have a ton. I have a ton of Wi-Fi that I've connected to over time, and they just persist. But he had just a few, and it wasn't anything super notable from what we could see.
Was there anything that stood out, like in relation? A lot of people have been talking about the Mad Greek restaurant where one of the victims worked. Was that in his phone?
It was in the Google Maps cache, which means if you open Google Maps and you search for nearby restaurants, or if you typed in Mad Greek, it was physically on his phone. He could see it, but it doesn't show that he connected to the Wi-Fi. It just shows that he had interest in that restaurant. And sadly, there wasn't a timestamp associated with it. It was in a passive file, a passive assist associated to Google Maps.
Okay. And so when he goes back to, and let me know if I'm leaving anything out that's important, but when he goes back to Pennsylvania, for a Christmas break, staying with his parents.
So I think that hit what I wanted to point out in that, just to take the allegation or the story on its face. Okay, so Daniel was utilizing Leo List to sell services for specific girls in his life, or women, whatever. And scenario, Jack and Lily go missing, and now his mind is racing, and he thinks he needs to get rid of all of that information. Now, does anybody hear how to delete your browsing history on your cell phone? It's not the same as doing it in a computer. Like, you can literally go into your settings on your computer and delete your browsing history. But even once it's deleted, it sits up in the cache, right? And your hard drive then is it is getting overwritten with new data. And it's not until that specific section gets overwritten that it's gone forever. So is it possible that certain data would be gone if Daniel was doing this and had deleted off of his cell phone or his computer? Yeah, but how quickly after the fact did the RCMP get his cell phone and download all of that data? I'm not saying they analyzed it right then and there, but they would have had it before they handed that phone back to him. And we heard rumors that he had been given a loaner phone. So that cell phone would have also been analyzed, that data would have been dumped. And so I can rest my conscience on the fact that had Daniel been doing these things, the RCMP would have that data. And I understand what you're saying, Mr. Hemi, but you just heard these professionals say that even a search on like a map app, and you delete that search when you're done, it still shows up in that metadata that they can get. There would be some kind of trail for them to have some kind of evidence, like valuable evidence. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, helicopter grammar for sure. And that's exactly what they were saying. And this next short video is more, it's a little bit more technical, but I found it informative anyways. And I just, I have to believe, and maybe I'm naive, Mr. Hemi. They can, but you can't tell me. They can't, nobody will ever tell me that Daniel is smart enough and quick thinking enough to not ever search Leo lists on his devices. Not just that, if they have any evidence of that, like Tash was saying earlier, you can go on to Leo list and go back years and see if any of them are on there. So, but I also question if there's, because I'm not going into it, but is it possible that that could lead a person into like a child site if that's what they were looking for? Absolutely. Like his loaner phone, I would say has absolutely nothing on it, but if his regular devices, if he was using them, I think that it would be, to me and for me, I am going to put my faith in the forensic team with the RCMP that they have that data, even if they haven't found it yet, they have it. But I still don't understand why it's allowed to be talked about as much as it is, because I worry. I worry about the implications to possible future charges, possible future prosecutions, or talking about potential victims. And I don't know. I don't know. It just bothers me. So let's get into the next video because that's exactly kind of what this next one gets into. He did. He did. Everyone usually makes at least one mistake online. And a huge mistake is thinking you delete something and it's gone. And it's not. It takes time to overwrite that data. So I hope. I choose to put my faith in that. Apparently, if a burner phone is used, there is still a record from the triangulation and tower pings. But the data from that phone, like, can it be traced to the individual? I think that's the point. Because I think at this point, we all get the picture that we'd be foolish to think that if this is true, that Daniel is the only person in Nova Scotia that's doing this. Look at the court docket every day and you'll see that's just not true. It blows my mind. There are 3 companies in CDA that dig burner phone data. I'll have to search receipts again, but it's out there. These people are not criminal masterminds, right? And that's what I'm laying my confidence on, the fact that they didn't, if this is true, they wouldn't have been able to think quick enough or thoroughly enough. And even if they did, the data is still there. One thing it would definitely do is expose the household to a lot of creepy people. Yeah. You're gonna search for a few months? That's good. Jack and Lily had iPads. Wonder if the police, they did. I asked Daniel specifically about those tablets of the kids. I was more wondering if Lily more specifically, ever played Roblox or anything like that. He may have slipped with personal device. And like I said, we think that you delete something and it's just gone. And then on your computer, you empty your recycle bin and then you're like, but that's just not the way it works. I have to believe that the RCMP have it if it's there to be had. Where are the documents you showed earlier from? The court doc dump. Now I have to be careful because actually I can probably just show y'all. It's not a big secret. Am I on here? This is my drive. I use it for everything. I go with. I don't think there's anything in here. I think there's anything bad. There is not. Mm, yeah, I don't know exactly where it is, but I have a folder with all the court documents in it. I think there's like 13 files, and then we have the index of the lifted redactments on the most recent. But they're all the same documents. Just some of the redactments have been lifted over time. It's possible, but do you really think, and I don't mean any offense if Daniel or anybody's watching, but do you really think that they're that smart? If you don't think you're ever going to get caught for doing something like that, I just don't see them taking that many precautions unless he was learning from somebody more experienced. Unless this is just a quick way for him to make some money and the women were okay with it, you know? I don't know, man. Just 1 second. Just 1 second. My phone is buzzing, and I don't know why. Uh, So, and I love that you love the channel. Your opinions are what keeps my mind going. And I'm hoping just by me talking out loud about this stuff, I'll be able to sleep tonight. Because it, it's been a lot, and it's been a lot of very, very disturbing information that's coming out. And I think that it's going to continue coming out by the looks of things, because I know that for a minimum of 2 days, Major Crimes has been fully aware of what is being said. And if they haven't shut it down yet, it's either not relevant or they want it talked about, which does not make any sense to me. So many people are caught because they Google how to dispose or clean up. Yeah, look up Brian Smith, or no, what was his name? It might have been Brian Smith. What an idiot. How to dispose of a 130-pound woman, and his 130-pound wife is missing. Dumb. Dumb, da, dum, dumb. You've stolen some cards. I'm not saying there's not a way, but you're. No offense, but you're giving them way too much credit. Because if it was that big of a venture for them, if they were making that much money, wouldn't be driving around in busted old Escalades and shitty vehicles all of the time. Like, there are some escorts out there that make thousands and thousands of dollars a day. Even ones with pimps. Thank you again, Helicopter Grandma. I appreciate you doing that. Whoever got that membership, make sure you say thank you. See wood from the ones that were released via the court order. Runs with scissors. So would they have evidence related to his SA confinement? For an indictment, yeah, they would have to. And at one of these hearings coming up, unless he elects to not have the charges read, which I think I heard he did, but don't quote me on that, they'll have to go through what they're actually accusing him of doing. They'll have to put that on the record, unless he declined the reading of the charges, which I did hear that happened, but I don't know. I don't know. But they would. And I mean, rumor has it, I've been told that he also has a defense for it. I don't know what it would be, not here to talk about it, but trail hiker, you got it? Good for you. I'm glad. Thank you, helicopter grandma. Metadata will be critical evidence. It absolutely will. And that's why it was important for me to look up stuff for myself. And then I thought, what the hell? Like, people are wondering about it. And if it's keeping me up at night, I'm sure it's keeping some of you guys up at night, just thinking of the potential horrible environment the kids and what they were exposed to. But this makes me feel better that if it's true, then the RCMP have what they need to prosecute. I don't know. Ron, if you want those court documents, if anybody wants the court documents, just send me a message and I'll send them to you. I'll send them to you. Mad Dog was into computer crime in Ottawa before he went to Nova Scotia. Computer crime is his specialty. Perfect. I'm wondering, is Mad Dog like his actual nickname, or is that just a pet name given to him by social media? Just wondering. Trail hiker, thank you for that. It's very nice of you to super chat a thank you for helicopter grandma. It was very nice. It's paying it forward, I guess. So nice. There are 8 to 10 things redacted from finding from each of their phones. They must have found those things worthy of documenting, but it's redacted, so we don't know. And I've said from the beginning, anything that's redacted and stays redacted, to me, is probably things that they haven't ruled out or haven't fully investigated yet. And that's why they remain redacted. And they weren't part of the lifted redactions either. So it gives one hope. Bye. Yeah, so it gives one hope that they know what they're doing. Okay. Cash for drugs, not too much thought beyond that. None of his business. He don't need them. Yeah, it does. Me too. What's Brian saying? He's so blunt. He is. It is, but I try my best to stay at least in the loop of what is being said out there. Not that I listen to every word. It's terrible. Anyways, let's move on to this. This is the Celebrate. This is just one of many softwares that law enforcement uses to recover that data. They've got a whole section on recovering deleted messages to help uncover the criminal mindset. And they will go through the whole thing. They will go through the whole thing on here. It's very interesting stuff. But the video that we're going to watch, I think, summarizes it really, really well. And then we can watch this one too. It's good to go back. It's good to look. It's good to look back. I want to get rid of this. Like I said, it's a little bit technical, but stick with me. Towards the end, he does get into stuff that we can probably relate to this case and this situation where we're wondering, what the hell? Is this true? Is it not? But I'm going to stick to making myself feel better, just knowing that the RCMP probably have evidence to prove or disprove what is being said out there. That reminds me of Daniel saying not to put more than 65 pounds in a heavy duty garbage bag. Could be using an app like Telegram where he can erase chat and recipients. Yes, but it still has to go through the interweb, I guess, to get to whoever he's sending to or whatever traffic he's creating. And what we're saying is there's a place at the RCMP if they find it on the phone, they can probably track down that metadata. Look what they did with Nancy Guthrie. Like they weren't able to get videos, but they were able to go in to, was it Nest or Google, and get thumbnails from a camera that didn't even save the recordings. So, and same idea, it was stored on a cloud. She didn't pay for the coverage, but it was stored on a cloud and it just hadn't been overwritten yet. So, truth, I don't know for sure. The girls, some of them looked young. But again, compared to me, a lot of girls are. I wouldn't doubt that I wouldn't doubt it. But are you gonna think that far in advance if you're just trying to make a quick buck? I don't know, Steph. My son is a computer genius. Somebody send you something and you want to find out if it's real, he can take you exactly where it came from. He can find anything. Yes, Karen, it is. Have a good weekend, Ron. Oh, okay. That's not his actual nickname. Oh, let's use his real name then, if you guys wouldn't mind. I don't like it. It's not my business, but I'm not a I have a lot of respect for law enforcement, right or wrong, but it's my own thing and I don't like it. About oh, Richard Allen, really? Okay. Well, look. The cop was from BC and apparently not highly regarded, according to the Paul Palango, who I'm not a fan of. Gotta go. He is from BC and he wasn't highly regarded by Daniel. He's a good guy. I know him. Yeah, I mean, it could be all in good fun. That's fine. I don't care. I don't care. I just prefer to use his name here, that's all. If you have used a device, any device using any app, even encrypted, there is some trace left behind. Nothing is totally gone, always a trace. Right. Until it's overwritten, and then it can be completely gone, is what I learned. Because that one video with Brian Enton, with those two forensic experts, there's like a number of YouTube shows that those two did. They were on with News Nation and they were on with Ashley Banfield, I believe even with Nancy Grace and Brian Enton 3 or 4 times. In all of their talks and discussions, they're thorough. Especially if they've got somebody in custody and they're trying to link him to a scene or a specific place at a time, like they were trying to find any connection to the kids that Coburger murdered, and so they were digging because they felt there had to be something. And I mean, his cell phone was pinging off the same tower as their Wi-Fi numerous times, but the only thing they could find was like a loose reference, like he searched up the Mad Greek where Xana and Maddie worked, which I think is good enough because it was the only vegan restaurant, and he was a vegan. He had a vegan diet, but still, like that wouldn't have been enough to take the court. But I think the pings and and he had been pulled over. So it all helps. It all ties in to paint a picture. Yeah. He said 214. I don't know. I didn't think it was proper either. I can't remember his real name. She always referred to him as Mad Dog. Yeah, I just don't like it. It's not for me. It's also not for me to judge. It's just not for me. I prefer we call him by his name here. I wonder about a baby monitor or Bluetooth at 1407 Gerlach Road. If Meadow stayed in the bedroom with them and nobody was ever allowed to babysit, would they need a baby monitor? Unless, is it true that they used to just lock the kids in the room and then go out and do their stuff? You know? I don't know. Yeah, it's a tough listen, Tam. So be mindful before you watch it, but it's a good story. It needs to be told. Mhm. Where are you? Where are you? Okay. Okay. Let's watch this fella. Technical, a little bit painful, but trust me, at the end, he brings it all back with the advanced stuff. So here we go.
Not all forensic extractions from cell phones are created equal. Different levels of extractions get different amounts of data, and depending on the type of case that you have, it's really going to matter that you get the right one. If you have a case where you don't need deleted data and other information like that, you can do a certain level of extraction. But if you need to know you've got everything to ensure that you have best evidence and so that you're not at risk for spoliation or negative inferences down the line, you're going to need a different type of extraction. Today, that's what we're talking about. So first, what exactly is a forensic extraction or acquisition of data from a cell phone? Well, first of all, this is not subpoenaing or getting data from carriers or from different service providers like Google or Amazon. This is actually talking about getting data directly from the phone itself, utilizing specialized hardware and software designed for digital forensic professionals who are specialized in cell phone forensics. Also understand that this technology is not the same that's used by your T-Mobile store or Verizon location where they transfer your data from one phone to another. This is very different technology that's getting access to much, much more data than those techniques would ever allow. Further, this technology is not reserved only for law enforcement use. Yes, law enforcement and your alphabet soup agencies have extensive amounts of technology to pull data from cell phones, mobile devices, and more, but so do private labs. Remember that for every case, there is an opportunity to have an expert on both sides, independent experts who are trying to analyze those facts. So, what are the different levels of extraction that can be performed against a cell phone? Well, first we have a logical extraction, then we have a file system extraction, a physical extraction, and finally an advanced file system extraction. So, first, what is a logical extraction of a cell phone? Well, that is extracting the data that you can see as a normal user. It's kind of like a fancy iTunes backup. It's getting all the data you can see and other information as well that you can't, but it's not getting that truly deleted data. A logical acquisition or extraction works by actually communicating with the phone with an API, an application programming interface, literally like an app. That's a cell phone forensics fancy app that's designed to talk to the phone to make it give up its data. Next up, we have a file system extraction. Unlike a logical extraction, with a file system extraction, you don't need to use that API, that application programming interface, that fancy app that allows you to communicate with the phone to get the data as within a logical extraction. In a file system extraction, you are able to get access to the storage memory of the phone itself, okay? So when that happens, you're able to get databases and other information that you're not going to get with a purely logical extraction. Now note, a file system extraction gets all the data you're going to get from the logical, and you're getting more. And those databases, like I just mentioned, are rich repositories of data, including potentially deleted data because of how databases work on cell phones. Now we come to a physical extraction from a cell phone. Now, a physical extraction gets all the data you would get in a logical extraction, all the data you would get in the file system extraction, and more. This is because a physical extraction is a perfect bit-for-bit copy of the actual storage media itself on the cell phone. What does that mean? That means you're getting access to the deleted area on the phone, called unallocated space, and other places like that, which allow forensic examiners to carve out and recover deleted data. So you may find yourself wondering, if a physical extraction is so good, why bother with a file system? Why bother with a logical extraction ever? Well, that's an excellent question and the reason of this video. You see, with a physical extraction, you do get everything, but with modern encryption technology utilized by most smartphones today, you're not going to get access to a physical extraction. It's just not going to happen. And that brings us to our final form of extraction, that advanced file system extraction. This extraction methodology utilizes highly specialized mobile device and cell phone forensic hardware and software. This technology allows for the bypassing or getting through of some of the security features on modern smartphones so that you can get the most complete data set possible that can be recovered from that device. To enumerate all the benefits of an advanced file system or full file system extraction is going to be another video. But for now, understand that you're able to recover data you're not going to get in any other way using this method. For example, let's say you had a trucking accident case. You may want to know if someone was literally touching the screen at the time of the incident or leading up to it. What if they were switching applications, scrolling between them after they swiped up? Perhaps they changed the audio from their speakerphone to a Bluetooth headset. Or what if they were watching YouTube and typing in a search term? An advanced file system extraction is going to give you the best likelihood of recovering these types of data and much more. This is also why this level of advanced extraction protects you from issues of spoliation later on if the matter goes to litigation. You see, you'll be able to say that you created a perfect snapshot in time of all the data that was recoverable. You see, if you retained or appointed an expert who only did a logical or standard file system extraction when these advanced methods are possible, you're opening yourself up to many attacks. These include the inability for the other side's expert to do an independent analysis of all the data that could have been recovered from that phone because you failed to preserve it correctly in the first place. Now, in some types of cases, this may not matter, but if you're dealing with, as in our example, a motor carrier accident case, it does. Because what matters is what happens not only on the second, but between those seconds with fingers touching the device. That type of information and much more is only going to be recoverable, once again, with that full file system extraction.
You guys are funny. So I hope that we can all feel a little bit more at peace with the information that has come out. Not that it makes it any better or easier to take in, but if true, the RCMP have it, and people will be held accountable eventually. And I'm hoping that helps me sleep. And if, God forbid, it is connected to what happened to Jack and Lily, I have to believe that the RCMP have this information. They know about Leo lists, and they've gone back to the archives of those Leo lists. And how far back would they have to go for this specific allegation? 2023? Because, okay, so if we think, so baby turned 2 December 5th. She was born in 2023. I don't know, somebody do the math. How long were they together? If Meadow, okay, mathematicians, stand up. If Meadow was 16 months old as of May 2025, and Daniel and Malaya were together for only together for 2 weeks, and Malaya was pregnant for 9 months, 10 months technically from gestation. Do the math how quickly Malaya got pregnant. So I don't know if there's a whole lot of time in there that they would have to go digging, because they didn't know each other for too terribly long before she got pregnant, and then she got pregnant, and that's, I mean, might be marketable, but I don't think so. And then after the fact. So that's not going too far back in history to find that data, is my point. I don't know. Everyone has been saying someone needs to talk, and Anita is, thankfully. My only wish for Anita is for her to not be like outright verbally accusing people of specific things. I don't think that that is, I don't think that that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Well, on Malaya's profile, Blue Jay, her birthday was, I'm pretty sure, December 5th, 2023. 10 months plus 16 months is 2 years and 2 months. So they weren't really together for all that long. Maybe 6 months. Maybe 6 months. So if you're looking 2023 to 2025, not even 2023, the end of 2023, so only all of 2024 is what they would be most concerned with in the beginning of 2025. I don't think anybody needs to worry about Anita. She sounds like an extraordinarily confident woman. She really does. Helicopter, thank you again. That's 3 for Helicopter Grandma. Wow. Thank you so much. You're biting your tongue? Please don't, Sue. I need conversation. I need sleep. I need to talk this stuff out. And we're not interested in the vacuum here, so respectfully, what are you thinking? It's okay to say it here. And I want to know. Oh, Joyous got it. That's awesome. Thank you. Just good to see you. So one of the last things that I want to watch, it was sent to me just as a reminder, and I think it's important that we get reminded of stuff. Reminded of stuff. All right. Sorry. Just give me one sec. Opening it up. And I need to
I believe
pause it. Because it's my friend and yours. And if you guys want to still hang out, we can watch that that other one that I had there. This one. That one, if you want to watch it later, we can. But this is kind of the last thing that I wanted to watch. One of 3. I'm going to mute this and I'm just going to play the ads. I'm going to play the ads through. But yeah, please share your thoughts so that we can talk this stuff through. Another one, you guys. Thank you. Roots, that's so nice. Thank you. The laws are changing to keep everything from the public. I think what Anita said is credible. I just hate she brought it out to YouTube in case it compromised down the road. Same. And I think that, like I said before, we need to be very, very mindful of the age-old question, how would she know? The things that she saw or experienced for herself, no reason not to believe her. But anything that she heard or was told, I question how she could know for sure that it's true. And I would question how she would know for sure that the Leo list stuff is factual. Joyous, thank you. It's very nice of you. Thank you. There's another pay it forward. Thank you. I believe they're well ahead of us too. I do. I do. I do. Okay. Everybody's saying hi to Chelsea. Did I see Belinda in here before? I don't think so. Okay. Hopefully I can sleep tonight. I said speaking it out loud makes a difference, and I can sit there and I can talk at Ian about this stuff, but it's not engaging because he doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. I don't even think he'd want to, and I don't know if I'd want him to. This is disturbing stuff. Agreed, Roots. All right, let's watch this. I think it's a few minutes long. I have to go number one. So if I'm not back as soon as it's done, just hang tight. I will be right back.
With the hard work and the work we're doing and the information we're gathering, we will find out what happened with Jack and Lily.
Staff Sergeant McCammon, with the case of Jack and Lily, what's the latest?
We continue to gather information and then work any direction that there's more information to gather, review that and look for more opportunities. We continue to take in tips from the public and to review and move forward.
Is this case criminal?
Right now, we're gathering all the information. Once we have all the information necessary, we'll make decisions on any criminality that may be relevant to the case.
Are you treating this as criminal?
Again, we gather all of our information in any of these situations to a judicial standard in case there is information that identifies criminality. And that is part of our job, is to gather all the information so that we can make good decisions with it.
Can you explain how that works under the Missing Persons Act?
Well, basically, the Missing Persons Act gives us the ability to get judicial authorization to pursue different, more private information that we can then gather to review for any tips or leads, directions to go to find more information.
The children's stepfather, Daniel Martel, has also indicated that recently his DNA sample was taken. Why now?
Because it was the appropriate time, or we felt it was time to collect that information, of course. Sometimes DNA doesn't necessarily, not because anybody's a suspect, but to maybe we may find DNA in places where we expect it to be found and we need to be able to eliminate people. So it's something that we do, especially in missing persons cases, that to collect that information, make sure it's safeguarded.
Are any of the children's family members considered suspects in this case?
I wouldn't say anybody's a suspect. Again, we continue to gather information and whatever evidence that we are able to find, and we'll make our decisions based on that. But we are not in a position to really comment on suspects or anything like that at this time.
Do you have suspects?
Again, we're working the investigation. I can't comment in detail on where we're going because I have to maintain any integrity of the work we're doing. Anybody in the public who has information that can help us with this are asked to please engage with us and pass that information along so that we can work with it.
What do you think happened here?
Again, I'm not going to comment on what I think. As a professional investigator, we have to base our direction on evidence and information. So I'm not here to comment on my thoughts, and I'll allow the information we gather to make those decisions.
From the beginning, RCMP has maintained that this was not an abduction. The families believe that it could have been an abduction. Do you think that that's a possibility here?
Well, if that were something that took place, we will gather the information and we will pursue that, and we will pursue any charges related to anything like that that took place. However, again, we don't have any direct evidence of an abduction or anything like that at this time. So
So you're not pursuing the investigative avenue of an
Again,
abduction?
we will look in all avenues of investigation. I'm just, that's not evidence or information that we have directly at this time.
Why not?
Oh, there could be a number of reasons for that. We may not have found that information yet. There could be a member of the public out there that has a key piece of knowledge that we haven't managed to bring forward yet. There could be a number of reasons for that, and the other one being there may not have been an abduction, so there may not be evidence out there to gather. Again, that's why we have to let the information we gather dictate our decisions and direction.
The families say that on May 2nd, they were told by an RCMP member on scene that an Amber Alert would be issued, and that did not happen. Why not?
I can't comment on the commentary that may have happened between a member of the family at the scene. But when it comes to the Amber Alert, the criteria for an Amber Alert wasn't met. We didn't have the necessary pre-qualifiers to issue an Amber Alert. However, we did issue vulnerable persons alerts related to the disappearance of Jack and Lily, and that was the appropriate kind of direction with the information we had at the time.
Looking back, was that the right call?
Yeah.
Have mistakes been made in the handling of this case?
I'm very confident in the work that the RCMP's done on this case from the initial response that was within really minutes and people on the ground searching property within a couple of hours, and the continued investigative effort by the investigators. I'm very confident in the work we've done. No, I don't believe we've made any huge mistakes, and we continue to put effort in to try and resolve what's happened with Jack and Lily. I'm confident in the work the RCMP's put into this file.
What's taking so long?
Well, the sheer volume of information that's come in is a big part, and investigations like this take time. We've had over 8,000 videos that we've had to review and go through. We've had over 1,000 tips from the public, and each one of those tips have to be reviewed in detail and steps taken to ascertain the veracity or whether they're accurate or not. And that all takes time, and you have to do it thoroughly, and you have to document it properly. So larger investigations, they take a lot of time to do, and we have to take these steps and make sure we get our everything in a row properly to move forward.
At this point, do you think those children are still in the woods?
We've done an extensive ground search using all technology that could be available to us, including drones and penetrating radar for the ground. And we've had human remains detection dogs out there, and our ground search and rescue volunteers covered extensively the area around where the children were missing. So I think the chances are low. However, there's always that possibility that they may be in an area that just we haven't been able to find them. It does happen. It's happened. So I would say the chances are still, there is a slight potential they're still in the woods, but we're following up on every lead we can to try and ascertain that.
So if they're not in the woods, where could they be?
Well, again, that's part of that is the main goal of what we're trying to accomplish, find out what happened with Jack and Lily.
The court documents suggest that RCMP are using technology-based techniques. What does that mean?
Basically, we're looking at whatever technology is out there to assist us with our work, whether that be during the search phase with the drones and the side scanning lidar and radar, or whether that's through the use of different analysis products or other tech options, whether it be the use of video review programs that do things more efficiently, which we have done. There's just looking at different ways to do our jobs more efficiently and to gather the most evidence possible.
In the early hours of May 2nd, we know from the court documents that 2 people in the area heard a vehicle coming and going. What can you tell me about that? Is that substantial evidence here?
We have followed up on all those areas, and we're confident in the information we've gathered, but I don't really have any direct comment about that situation. We've it's part of our investigation, and we'll continue on with that.
So you're not saying that it's not relevant?
Obviously, it's something that happened in the area the morning that the two kids went missing. We have to consider that a relevant thing to follow up with and look into, but I'm not suggesting that's creating us to consider criminal action or anything like that.
As we approach the 1 year mark, is there any sense that this could become a cold case at this point?
I can't really comment on that. That will the information and investigative work will dictate that. As far as I'm concerned, it's not going to be a cold case. This is a case that needs to be solved. So we will pursue every avenue available to us to ascertain what happened with Jack and Lily.
So as of right now, it remains very active.
Very active. Very active. Yeah.
Do you think this will be solved in the near future?
I hesitate to put any timelines because, as I said, this is a large investigation, and this, as you've identified, there's a lot to it. It's not an everyday kind of file that's fairly simple and straightforward. So I hate to put a timeline on it, but I believe that with hard work and the work we're doing and the information we gather, we will find out what happened with Jack and Lily.
So interesting about this for me is how many times did he say that they're going to find out what happened to Jack and Lily? What happened to Jack and Lily? He didn't say we're going to find Jack and Lily. We're going to bring Jack and Lily home. What happened to Jack and Lily? I want to look for something because that actually made me think of something. Doug Carter, Delphi. Um, um, Grendel, are you still here? If you're still here, Grendel, can you send me a link to I don't even want to spoiler alert it, but Doug Carter, this fella here, he was like the face of the Delphi investigation. And he used to say all the time that this case has many tentacles to it. I would like to play that if you could send that to me, Gren. I know he said it many times, just, the shortest one that you can find. And then I'm going to tell everybody how that case turned out. Because just because somebody said there's a lot of components to this, it's a large, winding, many avenues to go down investigation, doesn't necessarily mean that it's not Occam's razor. Violent Boy Ian, everybody else that came in, thank you for being here. Where do I want to start? Fundamental wrong. Did everybody see Chelsea's post the other day? Or yesterday, I believe? Explains the difference. Explains what fundamental error is. And I do believe, to me, there were mistakes made because we talked about it a lot yesterday, whereas when you have missing children, I understand that they're going on the premise that the children are missing, but they don't know that, and they don't know if there's any criminality involved. And so you secure the scene and you separate the witnesses and none of that happened. And Daniel and Janie were out in the woods. Yeah. So Gren is here. Excellent. I would love to be able to play that. Delphi girls were surrounded by predators. Like, what are the odds? You want to talk about stacking coincidences? You've got the girls being abducted from the bridge, and also one of the girls communicating with a predator the same day, the last person she talked to, and that person allegedly has nothing to do with them being abducted and murdered. And then that predator is arrested for his crimes. Indiana State Police take him to a barracks so that they can question him. All the while they're doing this huge river search. They take him back to his jail, and within hours of Doug Carter flying away in his helicopter, the river search is called off, and within 10 days, the man that was convicted is arrested with no connection to that predator. It's a wild case. It's a wild case. Just put it that way. I'm just waiting for Grindel. It makes me irritated too. And I do believe, even though they're not admitting it, I do believe that Major Crimes was irritated as well. I do. Said earlier in the investigation that a fundamental wrong happened in Lily and Jack's disappearance. I believe what he was referring to, and just my opinion, was probably to do with the CPS involvement. To me, my speculation. Okay, hi Belinda, I see you've muted. Good to see you. I just thought I saw somebody tag you in a comment and I lost the comment and then I couldn't find you and I was like, oh, is she here? I believe that was my Facebook going off. 1 second. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe not. Oh, yep, 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 yep. There we go. Tentacles. Love this one. What am I doing here? Oh, True Crime Design. Love it. Haven't heard from her in forever. Okay, so I'm going to watch this one. I'm going to unshare it for a second and then reshare it just to make sure that the audio works on it for you guys. But I want you to listen to it and see if you see any similarities. Not obviously it's not going to be the same, but similarities in the language being used. And then we'll talk about how, like really, really quickly, how that case turned out to be almost nothing like what they appeared to have thought at the time of this. And 11 minutes probably gets into some stuff that we don't really need to know, but we're going to watch it anyways. Thank you so much, Grinnell. Appreciate that. In that case, didn't they have their bodies quite quickly the following day? So February 13th, at approximately 2:06, Libby posted a photo to Snapchat of Abby on the bridge. And by, I can't remember the exact timestamp, but by like 2:36 or something like that, the bridge guy was coming on them, like their video, like she activated the video on her cell phone and caught bridge guy. And it was a matter of 20 minutes. They were forced down the hill and across the creek in some fashion. And anyways, the family, pretty much the entire town was out looking for them for most of the night, even though the official search was called off after dark because the terrain was too treacherous in the dark. Locals, family, they stayed out all night searching for the girls and could not find them. And then the next day, just shortly after noon, they were found about not very far away, less than a mile from where they were abducted. They were found on the other side of the creek. So, but yeah, definitely they were found right away. Anita told me she doesn't believe Lily and Jack are with us. She also say they are all responsible. Yes. And I think that the mass majority of people would agree with that. It's the language and how that is coming out that worries me. And some of the information, if true, could impede the investigation or compromise a jury pool or negatively affect the successful prosecution in the future, potentially. It's fair. All I know is this year has been so long with so many changing stories and shady people. It's never ending, isn't it? I'm still waiting for Sue Oilers to pipe up. Because we don't want to hear all the bad nor all the good. I want to hear what people are thinking when they're having these dilemmas in their head about what we're hearing and what we're thinking about what we're hearing. That's the only way we can make sense of it. We need to talk through it. That's how my brain works anyways. But anyways, let's watch just a little tiny bit about this Delphi. And like I said, it's for Doug Carter to listen to his language, listen to his words, and see if there's any similarities to Rob McCann and what we just heard from him.
Very much for having me.
You know,
Awesome.
one of the things a few weeks ago after you were at the podium announcing that you'd made an arrest for Abby and Libby, I just felt like a sense of relief, because this was one huge step towards finally getting some justice for Abby and Libby. I know you were quite emotional at that podium, at that press conference a few weeks ago. Did you feel a sense of relief? I mean, I know you're working with several different agencies, but you're kind of the face. You've been kind of the spokesperson for the investigation.
I couldn't wait for that day. And then when I finally got there, I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to think or how I was going to feel. But the most important thing to me was to see how that community might begin, but most importantly of all, as a family. And it was a very strange emotional day.
It was an intense press conference too, because there were so many questions you couldn't answer and the prosecutor couldn't answer. And I could feel some frustration on the part of reporters in that room, because I know this investigation is still ongoing.
I don't blame him a bit for being frustrated. I don't blame him a bit. But we have to remember that now that we're where we are, it's not a community interest story. It's very factual now, and we have to be very careful. I think that's what everybody expects. So on one hand, we say to the media, thank you, and I really do mean that, for keeping this front and center, not just nationally, but even globally. But then the other side is when you have questions, we can't answer them. So I understand that frustration. I really, truly do.
And I know you can't.
Individuals that did it, only they know what they did.
But do you think that's, and I'm trying to think of the right way to say this, has that slowed down the investigation? Because I think the public, with all of their tips, has been a big help in this. Wouldn't it make sense to have the public looking for the possible weapon?
I don't think at this point it would. Functionally, I understand the question, Hammer. I really do understand it. And we're going to look back on this and probably realize, dang it, I wish we'd have done A, B, and C rather than D and E.
Right.
But now's not the time for us to change that strategy and talk about everything that we know.
What did you think when, a lot of news has happened with the story since you?
So this is more like a podcast. We're not actually getting to see the interview again. He said it numerous times. I don't want that one. I want the Tentacles. Interview. Because he sat down with this one here. This one here. This is the one. Okay.
Indiana State Police Superintendent Doug Carter will hand over the reins of the state police agency to the next person to run it once Governor-elect Mike Braun takes office. That happens next month. I talked with Carter about his time running the agency, the ups, the downs, the tragedies, and the grief.
The enormity and the pressure of this desk is very real.
12 years after taking the helm of Indiana State Police, Doug Carter is just days away from his final time behind his desk. An exit interview of sorts, we are the first to sit down with him for this conversation. His 4-decade career in law enforcement will end when Governor-elect Mike Braun's term begins.
My entire life has been this, and I remember when I called.
Drat, that isn't it either. Oh well. Anyways, there was always talk about tentacles. This case is so big, it's got so many tentacles, you know, and then when it was all said and done, zeroed into one guy who tipped himself in within the first 3 days of the investigation, and the tip was lost. And fast forward to the trial and everything that came out at trial, there was no connection to any of these tentacles. Same idea. There was a lot of trafficking. There was a lot of assaults, drugs, all of this stuff. But it turned out there really was not very many tentacles at the end of that trial. Yeah, Delphi also had the strangest community and cast of characters, not unlike this case. So I saw something that Anita was saying that she thinks Daniel and Jordan and somebody else were doing drive-bys of her house. 3 speeding, possibly stroke vehicles. On her street last night was Daniel, Jordan, and someone else. She's getting paranoid of retaliation or just accusing others. Okay, so I don't know a thing about that, but what I do know, and as recently as 2-3 days ago, Daniel and Jordan aren't in communication anymore. Like, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but all of my information sources tell me that they're not pals anymore. And I think that falling out happened when Durwood accused Daniel of having the $30,000 drug debt. So that's what I know. That's what I know about that. And that's too bad. Like, that would have been really good if we could have listened to that. Because we're not even at the point where they're willing to say that we've got criminality, let alone, you know, somebody ending the lives of Jack and Lily. Rob's not going that far. So I guess it doesn't, but it's still very much police PR language that's used in both. But even if the investigators think that there's just this huge story behind whatever happened to Jack and Lily, it's more than likely going to turn out to be Occam's razor. Whatever that looks like. There are so many likely scenarios that don't include all of this noise that's going on. Could it include it? Absolutely. But I don't know. Think about it. Why is Anita getting serious threats? in your opinion, is because she's truthful. Who's threatening her? If we're talking about the Jordan stuff, again, I'm pretty sure that I don't know. She also believes that Daleen is Jordan's lawyer, and she is not. So I I don't know. Mike MX just in time. I think I'm gonna end this live stream. I still have some more packing to do, and I want to be able to come on. We're actually Melissa messaged me from her sick bed, and we're gonna do a live stream tomorrow on the Delphi case. We are going to go through the state's response. So if you're interested in the Delphi case, hopefully you join me tomorrow. I do want to do a live stream on Nancy because there's been some news that come out. Savannah did another interview, and I think it's very important information that came out there. But trying to move, trying to pack, trying to get everything. What is Occam's razor? Occam's razor, they wandered, or somebody close to the kids, parents, or kidnapped. Those are the straightest lines from A to B. Any of those three. And just my opinion. Just my opinion. Where am I going? I'm going back to BC. Going home. Winter season is done. I get to go home this weekend. Okay. She could not continue it with the info coming out. Wade relocated, but visits at times. Threats and hidden info. Why she's speaking out. The RCMP knows. They absolutely do know, and they haven't shut it down. So take that for what you will. And remember that I hope this made everybody feel a little bit better in that if the Leo list thing is true, the RCMP, they have it. Until November. Yes. Life on Easy Street. Starting Monday. Monday morning. I am 100% working from home in nice weather and short drive to the lake and beautiful weather. That's about all the great things I can say about it. Closer to my grandkids, I guess. I mean, it's just so much. And my house is huge. Better than this. Yes, that is Occam's razor. The simplest solution is usually the truth, as Sunny would say. Yes. I had heard she had posted somewhere today that she was doing going live tonight. We all thought because Mike Demand is kind of MIA that she was going to be on AB. Haven't seen anything from anybody yet. So I don't know, but we will keep our eyes and ears open. The internet is another investigative tactic the RCMP will use. They want people to keep talking. We are nobody's online to them, but they can gather what is being said. 100%. But my point is, if that's what if what Anita is saying is true, like all of it, not just the Leo list stuff. But I struggle with how does that not impact the integrity of the investigation? Some of it. I struggle with that. But if they're well aware, then that just tells me either they're they're hoping that the information is going to bring up more tips, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Just crazy. Sunny is okay. She has yet to get back to me since yesterday, but she's okay. I hate to be the party pooper, but Mike and Anita are going live in a few minutes. Thank you. Yeah, that's just what I'm saying. It's not just one and done, but the shortest path from A to B, there's a few of them. And that's where I like to stay. That's where I like to live. All right. Do you guys know if it's going to be members only? Anyways, let's all go over there and watch the show. And remember, the RCMP know the stuff. They know the stuff. They know when to watch. They know what they're doing. And any wrongdoing, they're going to be held accountable for it eventually. Okay, have fun. Go watch Mike. Thanks for being here, everybody. Thank you for your super chats, and Helicopter Grandma for all the membership gifts. Thank you. Have a great night, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.